Hi, my name's Jillian Duggan, and I'm the marine biologist at Ocean Sonics. Today, I'm going to show you how to set up your hydrophone using a test cable. First, we have the test cable, the power adapter, and the power cord. We're going to plug these in, the power cord first, then the power adapter, and lastly, the test cable. After we plug them all in, we're going to connect them to our hydrophone. You can follow along using your quick start guide in your hydrophone case. First, we want to plug the power cord into a power outlet, and this is to make sure it's properly grounded before it's plugged into your hydrophone. It also provides power to the hydrophone, and this is going to turn on your hydrophone for the first time. So the hydrophone has internal batteries that it can run on, but to turn on, since there's no buttons on the hydrophone itself, we need to turn it on using our own power source. Once we plug this into an outlet, we plug the next part into the power adapter. We can then plug it into the power cord into the test cable. You'll see this end, the power barrel on the power adapter, connects to the test cable. The next step is to finally plug in your hydrophone using the test cable MCBH connector. Always lubricate the cable before connecting it to the hydrophone. Now that we have everything connected, we're now going to connect the test cable to the hydrophone to provide it power. You'll hear it buzz once, and then you'll hear it buzz twice to indicate that it's turned on completely. Now that our hydrophone's powered, we're going to connect our test cable to our computer through the Ethernet port. You'll hear a click to indicate it's fully inserted into the Ethernet port. After this, you can search for your hydrophone using Marco. You can download Marco using the USB that's found inside the icListen case. Once you have your hydrophone connected to your Ethernet, you can then open Marco and search for your hydrophone. If your hydrophone does not show up right away, you can click Refresh. Here we can see our hydrophone 6306 has a green box, and this indicates that it's ready to be used. If you open Marco and this box is not green, it's either yellow or red, this indicates that it does not have the proper IP address for your network. To fix this, you can click on the hydrophone and click Configure. Choose Automatic DHCP and send the new address to the hydrophone. It will take up to 5 minutes for the hydrophone to get the new IP address and to reset its IP. It will turn gray once you refresh, and once it has fully accepted the change, it will have the device's configuration was changed successfully. Once we click OK, we can refresh it once more, and you'll see the green square appear. To open the hydrophone in the web browser, you can just double-click on the hydrophone. Now that we're connected to our hydrophone and we opened up the web interface, we see the home page, and it will tell you your icListen HF, the unit's ready to go. We're charging the hydrophone, and we can see the unit time as well as if it's recording WAVE or FFT data right now. You'll want to make sure you look at the unit time and ensure that this is correct. It is going to be displayed in UTC time. If this unit time looks off, what you'll want to do is go to your operations page and click on hydrophone time and sync time. And this will show you your current hydrophone time and your current PC time in UTC. And you want to make sure that these are both the same. After you set the time, this will be displayed on your home page. This is important because each file includes a date and timestamp, and you'll want to make sure you can correlate this to when you are taking the recordings. Let's look at the data coming through. So to do that, we click on Data Spectrum Charts, and here's our live data. As you can see here, we have a waterfall display and FFT updating spectrum on the top. And if I click or snap near the hydrophone, you'll see that data, as well as if I whistle. You can actually change the reference levels and the step size here, as well as change the time, how long you want to see. You can save an image from this, as well as rescale or stop the spectrum to look at it in more detail. The next thing that we want to look at is how to set up the recording. So we go under Settings and Data Collection. And this is where you can set up the waveform data collection on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, the spectrum FFT data. First, you'll set up the waveform data. You'll want to choose your max waveform frequency, and this will depend on your deployment and your parameters that you'll want to use. For ours, we're going to start recording at the highest sampling rate at 200 kilohertz. This can be used for general soundscape monitoring. It can record up to 200 kilohertz, which also includes harbor porpoises that are up around 130 kilohertz. Next, you'll want to turn on your waveform logging, and under Mode, you want to choose Logging On, which now means we're recording. We're going to leave our file length as 1 minute, and we're going to record everything, so we don't need to do a duty cycle at this time. On the right-hand side, we see the spectrum FFT recording. We'll want to choose our max spectrum frequency, and in this case, we're going to choose the same frequency as the waveform at 200 kilohertz, and this will give us a great view of the entire spectrum. We want to choose Mode Logging On. We're going to keep the max log length as 1 minute. For the spectrum processing, we're going to use a mean processing mode. We're going to choose an update rate of 1/4 second to give us the highest resolution. You can enable a delay if you want your recording to start at a certain time. If you do not need this functionality, you can just click Apply right away, and this will start the recording. The next thing you'll want to do is look at the data or retrieve your data from your hydrophone. And to do that, you can go under Data, Retrieve, and it will display all of the files that are now recorded onto the hydrophone. And you can download the data right from this page by clicking on what file you want to download and clicking the Download button. If you select more than one file, it will zip the files together and then download them. So that's how you set up recording on the web interface. I'm now going to show you how to set up the hydrophone using Lucy. And this allows you to have a few more capabilities of the hydrophone and listen to the data in real time. The best practice to connect to your hydrophone is to use Marco. Ensure that you have a green box here in Marco before you open Lucy. Once your hydrophone has a proper IP address, you can then open Lucy. Lucy does everything that the web server can do, and it also allows you to do a few more things like record to your computer, where you can store all the data, as well as listen to the data in real time, and also perform impulse detection, as well as porpoise click detection. To search for your hydrophone in Lucy, you can click the icListen Setup button. Click Find All Units, and then double-click on the hydrophone to connect. Now we're connected to our unit. Click Apply. You can also open the web server from this page, as well as perform the operations of standby and reset, and you can set the time using the PC. This is the same setup as you would see on your web browser, so you can set the settings for the icListen, where we have it logging right now, continuously for waveform and spectrum, and we can apply these settings. To set up recording to your computer, you can click on the Lucy Save icon. You can set up a client name, a job ID, and personnel, as well as your logging to your computer, where you can choose which folder it saves in for both the waveform data and the FFT data. You can also save epoch messages from the icListen and Lucy. To start streaming on Lucy, you can click the Start button, and this will start streaming your data in real time. Here, we are going to switch down the reference level so that we can see the data coming through. And a good reference and step size to start out is 50 dB re micropascal as a reference, and a 10 dB step size, as I have here. And this is a good starting spot. If you need to adjust this, you can based on your own deployment. And here we can see my voice coming through as we're recording, and I have it at 12.8 kilohertz bandwidth. I have a bottom waterfall display and the top an FFT display as it is on our website, but you can actually switch it to different displays in Lucy. So you can see wave details, a click detector, wave information, and also the sound exposure level, SEL, which is our impulse data detection, our impulse detector. You can pause spectrum, stop the streaming, and you can reset the charts from here. Lucy also allows you to set up a click detector, take screenshots. It allows for 5 additional epoch triggers as well as impulse detection. When streaming in Lucy, you can actually listen to the data in real time by clicking the audio enabled button in the right-hand corner. And that's how you record data using Lucy. The easiest way to turn off recording after you're done is to go on the web interface, go into Settings, Data Collection, and go to the mode logging on. You're going to switch it to logging off for both your waveform and your spectrum files. After you've done this, click Apply. It will turn green and then gray. And then go back to the home page to ensure that your wave recording and FFT recording are both off. Once you ensure that your recording is turned off, you're now free to turn off your hydrophone. Once you place your hydrophone into standby mode, then you're going to use this reset tool to turn off your hydrophone. So you're going to take this end of the Ethernet cable and you're going to fully insert this barrel connector into this connector. Once it clicks into place, then you're going to remove it. Now your power is off. Thanks for watching this tutorial on how to set up your hydrophone using a test cable. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at support@oceansonics.com. And good luck on your next deployment.